Welcome back. This week we find ourselves tackling a challenging beach track that is going to take us on one heck of an adventure. We are super excited to share this with you, and we cannot wait for you to come along on the journey with us. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump straight in. G'day, we are Beau, Madi, and this is Luna. We've ditched a 9 to 5 to chase our dreams of travelling Australia. Come with us as we explore this incredible country. Alright, so as you can see, we're airing down our tyres to get ready for the next adventure. But before we take you along on this one, let's take a look back at where we started in Troopy, looking at the beautiful Troopy Arch. Absolutely awesome. And then we spent a night at one of our most favourite free camps here in Tazzy so far. Let's have a look at that, and I'll bring you right back here and tell you what we're doing and getting up to next. How unreal is this spot? We are here all on our own. There's a river running behind us, around us the whole way. We just went for a swim, a freshen up. We quickly pulled in, just drove up, parked here. There was sun, got the solar panel out. So I've got the blue Eddie over here in the background charging, trying to get as much sun as we can because I haven't been able to charge that for the last couple of days. This is really the first prime bit of sun we've had. And now we've got these to ourselves, so it's like, pick a spot. This is magic. This is what we do it for. The adventure, the camp spots like this. And Luna choking in the background. What are you doing? Drop. Well, good morning. How is this? What a spot. The only thing we've found is we're starting to head that little bit more central of Tazzy, and I don't know what the temperature got to last night, but last time we looked, the centre around the lakes and that sort of area, I get into the minuses. So this morning is absolutely freezing. Sun's not out yet, but it's still gorgeous, hey? This would have to be one of my most favourite campsites we've sort of been. Maybe because there was no one here. You got the river just flowing down below you. We had an awesome fire. I think just all those things added up and it was just incredible. Alright, so we're here at Sandy Point. It's a free camping area and we're not here for the four-wheel driving aspect of it, but it is saying it is quite difficult. So we're airing down our tyres to get ready for some soft sand and see what comes of it. It does say there's a big dune area and stuff around, but we'll see. What this track is it's meant to be from Bridport to Bellingham, and it must be something that people enjoy doing, but I didn't know anything about it other than we were trying to head to Sandy Point for the free camping and spend the night on the beach. So we'll see how we go. There's a few areas where we're allowed to camp. We have to get through some soft sand and stuff like that. But we might go for a drive around and just have a look and see what this track has to offer. Let's get into it. Let's go and see what we find. I'm a little bit excited for today's adventure. I didn't know anything about this, so I thought it was going to be one of those ones where you just drive in, park up on the beach and you're done. But turns out it might be a little bit more challenging than that. Let's see how we go. Let's see if we can't get stuck and unstuck and back into it. Wow, good morning. How beautiful was last night? That beautiful pink sky, absolutely gorgeous. The great thing about this little spot is we're tucked away from being right on the beach, which is really nice. So we didn't have those big winds just hitting us. They were sort of stopped by the trees and things like that, and a little bit of a dune hill, which was awesome. So we were out of the elements last night. It did rain a little bit, but not until we set up and everything, so we weren't too bad, and we just slept underneath the awning, so we had a little bit of shade, bit of protection and everything, so that was awesome. To be honest, cracking little spot, and I can't believe we actually found a little grass patch, which was wicked. One thing that is disappointing is there are a lot of grubs here, unfortunately. People just can't take their rubbish with them. It's a bit disappointing. We'll try and do our best this morning, but unfortunately I don't have too much room, but we'll give it a crack and see what we can pick up. But very disappointing that people aren't looking after a place like this, because it's absolutely beautiful and you want to keep it open so other people can come and experience it and get out here as well. This morning, right, so we're on that track. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't realise that this was a four-wheel drive track. We thought we were here just to camp and then head back out, but no. So I've had a thought and I would love to see if we can just finish it. The track is only 22 kilometres long. I don't know how much we've already done, but I would love to. The only thing I think that will stop me is there's a water crossing part. So the ocean comes into a little creek inlet and it's high tide right now. So I think we'll still just give it a crack and get there and see what sort of happens. The tides are really high.
at the moment, so I don't like our chances, but let's just see what it looks like, see what it's doing out there, and we'll go from there. Today I might just go into a little bit more depth of things. So I told you that we aired down. I chose just to go to about 18 psi on all wheels. I can go down a bit more. I didn't want to go too low just yet, just because of the weight of the vehicle now. With, you know, we're carrying water, we've got the fridge and all that sort of stuff, so I didn't want to go too low just yet, but I still can go down a little bit more and be pretty safe, you know, around that 10 to 15 psi mark, and we'll definitely cruise over stuff. I actually did it in four-wheel drive high yesterday. There was one piece where I got hung up on top of a hill. All I needed was a little bit more momentum. You'll see me reverse back down and then just head back up, and that was pretty. We almost lost it up on top, and then I just backed off a little bit and was able to still take off in four-wheel drive high, which was absolutely awesome. And I don't know if it was because we've just had 3 cars go through yesterday. They were literally doing their tyres just as we were, so they went through, and in a lot of spots you can see they've created a nice solid road. You know, there's 3 of them trying to follow each other, so they're going along, and it just really compacted that sand for us, I think. And there was just a rain before that, so quite a nice sort of road for us. So today we'll see what happens. We'll get there, and might be a little bit more challenging today without them compacting the road for us. It has just rained all night, so it's going to have a nice layer on top, but we will push through, and then it'll break it and I'll have that soft sand underneath, so we should be able to push through it quite easily. We'll test her out. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get the big girl to the end of this little track that has proven to be a little gem with some gorgeous scenery. So let's get stuck into that. So far, what a cool little drive. To be honest, the sand is very, very soft. The sand dunes can be quite steep, but obviously that's going to depend on the winds and everything like that. Sand dunes and sand changes every single day, and you could end up somewhere completely different from when you've previously been here. Tyre pressures are going to play a big key part, and then also momentum with sand. We've got max track, so I've got that confidence that if anything, if we need to get out, we're getting out. I've got one for each wheel. I've always said that I like that, just because you never know what situation you're going to be in and need it. I think the rain has played a really good part in us just having traction the whole way. We're not actually breaking the top layer enough that we're getting to that softer sand at the moment, which is really good. In some spots we are, definitely, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case, so that's really, really good. This is pretty cool. I enjoy this sort of stuff. So what do you reckon so far, old girl?
This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it.
That's good.
I've had my head in the drone most of the time though, so I'm excited to actually enjoy it.
Wish us luck. We're having a lot of fun. As always, you know, we're on UHS. We've got them ready so we can communicate to other travellers. I'm not 100% sure if they will be on 40 or channel 10 for four-wheel driving, so you know, we're very lucky with this unit that it can skip between both of them, so one of those little extra added features. So I'm about to take off, and you can't really tell on camera, there's a slight incline, okay? It's pretty decent, and it looks like it would be quite soft if it wasn't so wet from last night. So what I do is I'm not going to take off in first and then change gears to then have that momentum change. I'm going to actually take off in second. So if you didn't know you can do that, I'll probably take off in second and then that way I'm not trying to change gears, and then I'll just hold it at my revs at about 2,000 because that's what I quite like. That seems to be enough power that if I need a bit more berries I can give it to her, and it doesn't slack off enough that I'll get bogged. But in the event that I do, as soon as I feel that I sink, I'll stop, just clutch in, no braking, and then we'll reverse back as like nice and slow, try and follow the exact same track, so then we compact it and create ourselves a road. We'll come back to here, if not a bit further, and then I might, if I think that it's a momentum issue, I'll then knock it into third straight away and then have another crack at it. But little thumbs up. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it.
Are you setting that one up?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, click, click, front and back. We're getting a drone out the front. It's not a drone, it's a GoPro. Get it right, mate. Come on. Look who's in the hot seat.
I'm gonna give her a go.
Have you ever driven on sand before?
Maybe once on Cable Beach when we lived in
Oh,
Broome.
yeah, okay, yeah.
But no, not really.
All right. How are you feeling today? Are you confident?
We'll give it a go.
All right. No worries at all. Let's roll then, old duck.
See what we can do.
What are you going to do? What are you going to just trial?
So I'm just gonna try driving first gear, give her a bit of a momentum, and I don't know, see how we go.
How many revs are you going to sit at?
I have no idea.
I said we'll try and sit at about 2,000.
Just
So
sit
that way
about
you've
2,000.
and then that way you got enough to just push you along. Get your thumbs out of the steering wheel. Why do you have your thumbs out of the steering wheel?
Because if it goes whoop, your thumbs are fine. Where should I try and be?
Wherever you feel like it. We should have enough grip for you to drive however you want.
Okay.
Just not in the saltwater place.
I will do my best.
Give her a bit of juice. Not that much, but oh. So how you going? Driving on the beach, bit of soft sand here and there, and the water coming in.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's easier than I thought it would be. But I think, like you said earlier, it helps that we've had a little bit of rain. So it's compacted a lot of that soft stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, not too bad.
Do you think you'd have a crack at going up one of those sand dunes that we first took off on?
Maybe not yet.
Not yet?
Not quite there. With a little bit more practice, maybe.
Yep.
Might just be something that we have to, every time we get on sand, I'll go a little bit more and work up that confidence.
Yep.
Do I just roll her to a stop?
So what did I say to how to stop it?
Put the clutch in.
I don't know if you'll see it on the GoPro that we've got in front. Nah, the GoPro's gone flat. She has stopped me in where cars come out and they've got big divots.
Should I get you forward more?
No, I can still
Can I
do
try
the same.
it though? What would you do?
Yeah.
So would you go in first or second?
We're in four-wheel drive high.
So first,
Always first, yeah.
and then just take off slowly.
We'll see how it feels.
What are you complaining about, mate? That was a piece of piss. Now,
Clutch in.
clutch in.
And then it'll just roll to a stop. So the fact that it actually takes a while to stop is quite a good indicator that you know that you've sort of got your tyre pressures right as well.
Okay.
Because if you put it in and then you sort of come to a faster stop, like you've built up that front part and then it sort of just stops you and you make a little hill for yourself at the front. Have you heard me talk about that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when the car goes.
What's it do? I'm not sure about that one. Is that when we take off or when we stop?
No, when we stop and it goes like.
Oh, that's more in four-wheel drive low, I think you're talking about. When we don't have as much momentum. I don't know. Alright.
Your turn.
So coming through that first initial part, you come through a lot of tight tracks and things like that. You've got trees either side. They do get quite narrow points. We did actually knock one of our clear view mirrors in. Again, testament to them, mate. We hit it, I don't know, I was in second gear, probably about 15 k's, hit this tree, banged it in, you know, no damage whatsoever. So I love these things. We should have probably folded them in, but we didn't. So if you're worried about pinstripes and that, potentially you might grab a couple on the way. Otherwise, not too bad. Now it just seems we're just cruising along the edge of... Oh, bit boggy. Sorry, needed more Wheaties. The edge of the beach. Unreal. This is just so awesome to be just cruising along, watching the waves come in, to be able to just cruise along the beach. I just love this sort of stuff, eh? Just magic. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Can we get a bit of praise as well? This is our first four-wheel drivey track. Bit of rocking, bit of knocking. Not from us, from the car. Yeah, anyway. And nothing's fallen apart yet. Touch wood, touch wood. Everything in the back there is still standard. It didn't just collapse. Can you believe? I think we should get a little bit of props there because we wasn't sure. The whole thing could have fell over.
And to be honest, there's not even that many creaks or noises or anything. We did well.
I'm shocked at how impressed I am with it. I thought, anyway, I just, you've seen how we first cut and when we first started, and this is what we end up with. We're laughing.
Mm-hmm.
How good is it having a drone? You'll see the footage. I've just shot the drone up and I've been able to scout out from the top sort of where I'm thinking about trying to cross this thing, and this thing is this little river mouth water inlet part that we have to try and cross. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to touch the salt water, but that's not the case. I'm about to drive around the corner as well, and then I'll quickly reassess it, not from just the drone because I can't tell how deep things are and how it looks, but that was pretty cool, so I could at least have a quick look and see if there is any other options. So let's get ready, let's go and tackle this and see how we go. We might be driving through water, salt water.
A few moments later.
We are definitely not tackling that one right now. We will sit and wait. The tide is charging out, and it's just at that point at the moment where the waves are pushing it back in and then it's charging out at the same time. So we'll wait for it to just empty out a bit more. I walked in nearly to my knees, probably like 10 centimetres off, and I wasn't even at the deepest point yet. So I'll give it a miss for now. We'll sit here and wait, and I'll let you know when we start to cross it. You'll see that next, I guess. Alright, so we've just been waiting about an hour. There were some other people here that were waiting as well, and they've just shot off and gone up to a spot that they thought was alright. They've got through, so we're going to go and just do the exact same spot. Made it look pretty easy, so we'll run through there. There's a bit more water than I was hoping for, but what do you do? We might as well get on the road. It's nearly 12 o'clock, I think, so we'll get over there, get through it, and I'm sure we're going to bring you along. It's just like, hopefully we don't get stuck, eh? Could be a bit funny. What do you reckon? Let's see how we go. Alright. Just took us a while to set everything up and think about our game plan. I've actually stolen something off the gentleman that was just here, something that I never thought about or have done, because I've never really done these sort of things. But what he did was walked it and then just put a line where he was aiming to end up, obviously from after walking it, and figure out where his best line was. So I re-walked it so I actually know what I'm in for, and then I just thought I'd quickly put that line there as well. So I think that's a handy little thing, something that I never knew or would think to do, I reckon. So yeah, it's dropped so much. So the ocean is not now touching the mouth, so it's not bouncing in and everything. It actually is just flowing out. And it looks really good at the mouth, to be honest. I did think about crossing there, but it is just charging. There is so much water heading out of there because it was such a big tide, I guess. And after walking that one, it's so calm and it's actually really firm on the bottom. So I'm better off going that one. Then there's no chance, well, there's still a chance of a bugger up, but I'm not as worried. I've got the thumbs up. We're moving. So I've knocked it back to second gear low. Hopefully that's enough for momentum and everything. And I'll just cruise in. Yeah, easy as now. A little bit deeper there. And we're through. Just like that. Alright, so after waiting that amount of time, that was perfect. We did that with ease, as you would have seen. And the longer that it actually took us to set up all the cameras and stuff, it dropped off heaps. As you can see here at the start though, where I was thinking about coming, man, it is still flowing. So just safer if we don't choose that option. And the reason is, if you don't know that, is, you know, potentially the water can go that fast that it can wash you downstream. You can get unstuck. It's a bit softer as well. It felt softer as I walked on it, so you have the potential of getting bogged and things like that. But anyway, that's that bit of the leg done. Now let's head in, finish this off, get to Bridport and give her a wash, eh? Alright, so that was the four-wheel drive track from Bridport to Bellingham, or the other way around, whatever direction you want to head. Probably would have been easier if we had have just gone from Bellingham to Bridport, then we can head straight in and get it washed, but now we've got to drive back as such. But either or, as we said before, we didn't even know what to expect. We didn't even know that was there. We were just trying to get to a campsite and be by the ocean. And that we did, but we had an awesome adventure along the way. Let us know in the comments, with that river crossing, would you have turned back around, gone back? Would you have just waited longer until the water had gone away, or would you have crossed it? What's your thoughts? I believe the track wasn't as difficult as what it sort of reads. I think it was quite easy to somewhat do, as long as you're prepared as well. Like, we've now, lucky we've got the winch on. We've got 4 max tracks, so we should be fine through most conditions. I believe that they say it is quite difficult because of that water crossing. Those dunes can be quite slippery and hard to get up sometimes. But I think if you just take your time, think about what you're doing, you're going to get through it and you're going to complete that track. And then just watch your tides, because you've also got the water coming up on the beach, so you might have to drive quite high up on the bank. But otherwise, you know, for the most part, I found that it was alright to get up pretty much everything that we tried to tackle there. You know, we didn't play around in the dunes or anything like that. Like I said, we were there just to get from one point to the other and complete it, since we found out about it. From here, well, I got my fingers and toes crossed that somewhere nearby has a wash station, so we can go and get this salt water from underneath the car, off the wheels and everything like that, plus the sand. The sand is caked on, so I'd love to be able to just go and give her a clean. I'm not interested in the brush, I just want to get that water off
and that
the car.
Sand. Look at the sand.
Yeah, I'll take you in closer. Look at the sand on the spring. She is caked on. Also, whilst I'm here, if you can, let us know if you enjoy that sort of thing. That's something that we actually really enjoy and love doing, and now that we've lowered our footprint, moved into the Troopy, that's our goal, is to try and hit tracks like this a bit more. And off-roading sort of tracks, you know, again, doesn't have to be difficult. We're just there to tour and hopefully get to some cool campsites. But as long as there's a campsite on it, we want to try and have a crack at it and have a look around. So let us know if you enjoy that, please, because if you do, hopefully we've got a lot more of it coming up. We just have to do some research and figure out where these things are, so we don't just rock up and go, well, there's one, let's do it. All right, enough yip yap. Let's go and get this water off the cart so we can get her. I don't know, I'll just look after her. Let's go. The big girl's all clean. Thankfully, after that awesome little trip, there was sand, mud everywhere. Right through her. So that was lucky that we were able to. Nice cheap one, actually. The best one we've had. $4 it cost. Did a little bit of a like foam soapy thing, which I didn't want. And then the water just went forever.
It just kept going.
So that was awesome. I hope you enjoyed this one. As I said before, let us know in the comments, would you tackle that water crossing? Would you do a trip like that? And are you interested in seeing more of it? We thank you so much for being part of this journey. We really do. We're loving this adventure. We're loving getting back to basics. Thankfully, nothing's fallen apart in the back there. So we're very, very grateful for that. You're an absolute bloody legend. We'll catch you next week. Who knows where we're off to, so stick around.
We'll see you there.
Because we're getting excited. So come with us, baby. Let's go.
Bye.